Hello, I'd like to talk about my solar porch and off-grid project. This is video number 1. The purpose of this is to charge my Nissan Leaf. So this is a system layout. In the upper left is the solar panel system that's outside. In the upper right is the grid sources of power. And in the lower left are the loads. And in the middle is the system charging and inverting system. The battery is a lithium iron phosphate with a battery management system, and then to measure the power coming in and out, there's 2 meters. The porch has got 16 solar panels for the roof. These screen walls I got at Costco, and the paver patio was a DIY project too. And it sits right on top of the paver patio. The paver patio is the foundation. The angle of the roof is 22 degrees, which is the most that would fit below the second story windows and still be high enough for the screens to fit. The solar panels are held up with Unistrut. It was locally sourced at Menards. The structure is 8 times stronger than it needs to be. The safety factor is 8, with a snow loading of 20 pounds per square foot, so it can hold several tens of thousands of pounds. This is the combiner box, and there's 4 strings going into the combiner box. 4 in the lower left, 4 in the lower right, 4 panels in the upper left, 4 panels in the upper right. So it's a 4 series 4 parallel arrangement. The maximum voltage is like 160 volts. The working voltage is like 130 volts. Here's some more of the structure of the screen room. There's a ground beam that keeps the posts from moving. And this is designed to be movable. If I ever moved, I could take this down and set it on a piece of concrete, paver patio, whatever. It's not permanent. This is the disconnect for first responders if there's ever a problem. All seal tight, all watertight connections, 3/4 inch EMT. That's where it goes into the house down to the charger system. Inside, this is my DIY Powerwall arrangement. There's a 100 amp charge controller and a 4400 watt inverter. There's a load center, a transfer switch, the DC disconnect for the PV, and there's the power meters. The cable connections are all 2 gauge for a design current of 110 amps DC. So this control panel here is where everything's controlled. Turning the power on, and when the power is turned on, it activates the meters. The leaf is connected and it starts drawing a little current. Yep. And turn that baby off. In my next video, in one of the next videos, I'm gonna talk about the settings for that so that it works right. Here's the battery. This is a 10 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery. There's a BMS. And then these are what are called Vericore batteries. They're 3.2 volt nominal batteries. Each battery has its own fuse in case there's ever a problem. That battery will disconnect. So safety's number 1. And then all the connections are broken out 10 gauge wire onto terminal strips, so it can be reconfigured if needed to 12 volts. Here's a snapshot of the system performance. So what we're going to look at next is the solar porch design and build, and that's just going to be a bunch of photographs, then the battery, the inverter charger, and then we'll wrap it up with some home integration.